This is your man who did it. Who did it this time? Coming at you with another episode, another installment of Take the Kid Gloves Off. And this one is going to be titled Reasons, Excuses, or Both. Now, I'm going to start off my video with talking about a current event. I'm taking a little page out of the HD playbook. I'm not even going to hold y'all. It's a glorious day to be a YouTuber or a content creator, man. Brothers don't necessarily have to jock each other or take off each other's plate. Sometimes it's just showing appreciation, man. It could become friendly competition, but it should never be envy, or the Lord won't bless you. But this comes out of the New York Post. Worst day ever in pigeon racing history, as 5,000 birds vanish. Again, this comes from the New York Post. You can Google it or type it in one of your search engines. It says they flew the coop and vanished into thin air. Bird handlers are devastated after a mind-boggling 5,000 homing pigeons seemingly disappeared during a race across the UK. We've seen one of the very worst ever racing days in our history, pigeon hobbyist Richard Sayers wrote in a Facebook post, chronicling the feathery fiasco which occurred Saturday, that was on June 25th, a couple days ago, after 9,000 racing birds took off from the Peterborough, Cambridgeshire on a journey to the northeast. And while the 170-mile flight should have only taken 3 hours, over half the avian competitors were still unaccounted for as of last night. Pardon me, y'all. Man, they were reportedly part of 250,000 pigeons released in approximately 50 racing events across the country, with just 10% returning on time, and said another tens of thousands reported missing. The Sun reported. This meteorological event have distorted Earth's magnetic field, which the pigeons use to navigate like a meteorological GPS. It's unclear what prompted the squanders to seemingly vanish into thin air. However, Sayers, whose local pigeon coop reportedly lost as many as 300 birds in the flight marriage phenomenon, said most breeders are blaming the atmospheric conditions. I'm going to say that again. Most people are blaming the atmospheric conditions. The atmosphere now. Possibly a solar storm above the clouds that created static in the atmosphere. And I'm going to stop right there, man. But I am going to quote one of the scientists. I have never heard of anything like this. Laminated, the bereaved bird boss, who's 45 years old, who reportedly owned pigeons since he was 9 years old. Reasons, excuses, or both? Where y'all want me to start? Let's go to reasons. The reason why they are starting to post these type of catastrophic events, such as these birds vanishing, if y'all pay attention to some of the daily news a couple years ago where these planes have vanished, this goes back as far as like World War I and II, where other pilots have came back, said that they went to a whole nother hemisphere and saw certain animal life. Whatever spin they want to use, the reason is, or at least one of the reasons could be, the Most High does what he wants. That's evident. There's no getting around that. We already understand that man wants to go to war with God. Well, you're going to get what you're asking for. This is what you wanted. Let the games begin. Number 2 reasoning. Could it be that the animals are just playing out roles, letting us know something is truly wrong with the atmosphere? Or 3. Man is trying to play God, but doing satanic and wicked things. Some can call it Esau. Some can call it the so-called white man. I'm to the point where I'm just going to call it man. Man is evil and it has a wicked heart. You dig? Now, let's go to the excuses, which is going to be more of a pleasing portion of this video. Whether you believe or not, they are setting up the global stance for whenever this miraculous event happens with the Most High and His Son and the returning angels to this planet. Now, if you're not interested in scripture talk or revelation, because all of the prophets have passed. When people come and tell you they're a prophet or prophetess, they may be accurate and God could be moving through them. But all the prophets are gone, dog. But they are preparing for the showdown. They will lose, but they're preparing for some type of event. And this is just an excuse that, as some people read, some philosophers, some writers say that when this rapture takes place and people disappear, pardon me, that was my laptop. People disappear. They can say, see, that's where they went. Like the birds vanishing, like those planes vanishing. They already have their excuses lined up. Like a great coach or a warlord, a person who's in control. They have to make sure that they cross their T's and dot their I's. They're already setting it up. So when I could say we, but I'm going to say the people of the book disappear or just are shielded from God's wrath, they're going to say that it's some type of scientific breakthrough and all these people are missing or shielded, whatever way you want to call it. Why do you think Mr. Trump talked about a space force, which I covered a couple videos ago about the space force? What do you need a space force for? I understand Air Force. I understand Navy. I understand Green Berets and everything on land. What are you preparing for in space? It's just an excuse to combat the Most High and His prophecy. This place is going down. It has to. Alright? Or portion 3, which is a combination of both. You know, two things could be right in the quote of Shannon Sharpe. Those reasons as well as those excuses. But what Who Did It wants to make sure that he does on this episode to take the kid gloves off is make sure that I do my diligence and make sure that I let you all know if you have any questions. I'll leave my email for you. This ain't crazy talk. You can look it up in certain books or revelations as well as certain philosophers. They know something is going on. Whether you look in the deepest of the deep of the ocean, the core of this earth, when it comes to CERN, which is spelled CERN, where scientists have been told repeatedly, some of the greatest scientists all across the globe, preferably in India, which, you know, I don't want to come at that race of people, but a lot of those individuals follow Shiva, which is the god of multiple arms and whatnot. They tell these different scientists don't go down there. They're not saying there's other life form, but they've detected different wavelength. Could it be a spiritual breakthrough? Something they behinds ain't ready for. So whether you go to the core of the earth, the top of the, the highest of altitude, the deepest of the deep in the caves, there's all kinds of mysteries, that the Most High has provided. But it's not always meant for man to know about. But since man is Nebi and he likes to roll in the mud with pigs and demonic energies, well then your behind is going to get all muddy. This is your man. Who did it? Who did it this time? Saying take the kid gloves off and just make it plain. That's the whole point of this series. Let's stop playing with these people. Let's just give them what they want. You want the truth? You want excuses? You want reasons? Whatever, I could give it to you. But 5,000 birds just vanished, huh? You expect me to just believe that it's just a coincidence? There ain't no such thing as coincidence. Now when it comes to this, You all take care. And I'm out. Peace.